So, for context, we had a conversation about the difference between being in a moment and just letting the moment be, and being in a moment and then drawing attention to it in some sense of detail. Would you agree with that?
Would I agree
that's what that was about?
Yes.
Okay, so just for starters, like, I personally had a big problem with, we were sitting on the bed, we were laughing, smiling, and we had some struggles the week before, and it was just good to connect with you. And this was a moment we were like sitting on the bed talking, laughing, and then we started kissing and just being playful. And that's when you were like, see, I really like these moments and we need to have more of these. And I'm like, okay. But it's like, no, I really want you to like see what's happening in this moment, and like we need to like really cultivate more of these. And I'm just sitting here like, yo, like, you're ruining this one. So to me, I feel like it makes me less desirable. Well, I won't say it doesn't make me less desirable to have more moments like that, but I feel like it's starting to damper this one to try to have more like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. When I started sharing, because, I speak how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just start talking. And you didn't say anything. So I was just sharing and you were just looking at me like, So I'm like, okay, well, you're not saying anything to the contrary. So I'm just like excited for the moment that we had. I was excited that we were done arguing. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to draw attention to what I was talking about, because the argument that we had before was kind of about how I wanted to be playful and how I wanted more moments where we can just have fun. And when we had it, I wanted to show you, see, this is what I was talking about, just in case you didn't know. And so I just started talking and sharing about the benefits and the spending time, and you didn't say anything, so I didn't know what you were thinking.
I was in shock because I'm like, so here's my thing. I feel like, again, you have often not criticized me, but you have often maybe criticized me or tried to encourage me to be more in moments.
Yeah.
And like just enjoy the moment, because I'm a big proponent on like, hey, yeah, this is fun and cool, but like, what's the next thing? I'm always on what's the next thing. And you've often encouraged me to just sit in a moment, be patient, be still, blah, 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 all that. This was a time I felt like I was actually doing it.
Okay.
And then your encouragement was, see, let's do more of this in the future. And I'm just like, I was just blown because I felt like I was in the twilight zone, because I thought in that moment I was doing something you wanted me to do. So when you were like, hey, you were just being quiet, I'm like, because I don't even know what to think right now. Like I thought I was doing what you wanted me to do.
Yeah, that's why I said. Well, that's why I said, like, yes, I wanted to have more fun moments with you, and I was just drawing light to like, see, like, don't you enjoy how this feels, and we can do that more often. And so I was just sharing my thoughts. My problem is that you assume that I know how you feel. You know me. So you know that if I'm thinking something, I never don't share it. My hope is that if in the moment I'm sharing something and maybe it's not a good time for you, don't assume that I know that, because I think that's what allows you to get frustrated. You're upset that I chose a specific moment to share. You're upset that I have ruined a moment for you, and you're having all these feelings that I don't know.
But not just a moment for me, a moment for us.
I was enjoying the moment.
The kind of moment that you said you want more of.
I was enjoying even talking to you and talking about how it was making me feel. I was sharing how this moment was making me feel.
Facts.
I like sharing
Sure.
how things make me feel, especially if what I'm sharing is good things.
Okay.
So I was in a fantastic mood.
Oh, and I was too.
No, you weren't.
I was, okay, so you trying to tell me that in the moment I wasn't in a fantastic mood?
The fact that I was sharing with you how I was feeling did not put you in a good mood.
Because, so I'm trying. So I will say that I see two things happening. I see that I don't know that we are seeing the other person's point of view.
No, I see your point of view.
And I'll be honest, I don't see yours. That's why we're trying to work this out. Because I'm still stuck on how can we be in this moment and be everything's happy and great, and then you're like saying, like, that's something, like, to me it's like we be out on the basketball court hooping and having fun, games tied up, and it's like, yo, we about to find out who about to win this game, you know, whatever, that's irrelevant. But I just want to say, time out real quick before we finish playing the game. I just want to say I love playing ball with y'all. This is great. Like, I love hanging out with my boys and hooping, and everybody's just standing around like, dog, like, okay, like, finish the game.
Okay.
And then you can have your rant. The fact that I felt like we were in the middle of a game, maybe at the end of the game, for you to say like, hey, let's stop the game to talk about what we're doing.
Yeah. Because
so you understand that's how I feel, but you don't think.
Now I do.
Okay.
So in the moment, you're assuming that I know that you're not enjoying this conversation.
Right. And I'm also not sure why you don't see that.
Okay.
before you mentioned it.
So if you ever come to a conclusion about something without having stated it first, then you are like, you're basically, how do I want to say this? If you are feeling a certain kind of way, right? You refuse to share it, but you allow the consequences of this negative thing to affect our relationship, then that is unfair. You assume that I should know. And so you're like, she knows I don't like this. You never told me. But she should know that I don't like this. She should know that I don't want to hear her feelings
seriously,
of the fact that she's enjoying her time with me and that she's looking forward to
seriously
no, but seriously, you're assuming that I should know how you feel, and then based on what you assume I should know, you start acting out that thing. I don't feel good. She knows I don't feel good, so now I'm gonna put up a wall. And so I'm like, I'm sharing, oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun, babe. Thank you so much. I love this. I'm looking forward to more with you. Da-da-da-da-da. And I'm in my world, and then I look over, and it's a big wall. And I'm like, what's wrong, Brandon? Nothing. What's wrong? No, wait, I thought we were great. No. And then after prodding and pulling, finally, I find out that you did not enjoy me sharing how I felt in that moment. And I'm like, okay, well, why didn't you say something in the moment?
Okay. So I follow you there. I follow you. I think there's definitely, for me, it was a matter of wisdom. Like, because of the way the moment was going, and I think because it was on the cusp of the whole struggle of the week prior, the whole not connecting, not really communicating, kind of missing each other, not really fighting, but just like staying busy, kind of being just roommates for like a week and some change, just missing each other, just, you know, hey, you got this, do this with the kids, you got that, I'm gonna clean this, you're gonna clean that, I'm gonna do, you know, company this and going here and engagements and all this kind of stuff. So, and you know, and then like driving on this side of town. And
Stop it, Brandon.
So it's like there's a lot of that going on, and we're finally at the end of that, we're feeling the frustrations because now we're seeing that we're disconnected. It was clear in those days, but it's becoming more clear as the weekend shows up and we're trying to wind down and we're trying to connect and we're seeing how distant we are. And the fact that we are so far, I think, is what was frustrating us. And so when we finally had the moment, it was like, yo, I finally get what you always say, like, just be in the moment. And I was in there. So that's why.
But I was in the moment too. I was sharing how the moment was making me feel. I was actually, after a week and some change, able to talk to you about how I was feeling.
Sure. And like I said, I'm not mad at that. That's why I say I'm okay with the sharing.
Okay.
My issue was the timing.
Okay,
now,
so here's the thing.
I know you're like a very in front of your face person. You're a very like, yo, if I feel it, I speak it. Is that always wise?
Yes.
With who you're dealing with?
Yes. It is wise, because I feel what you said you want to learn and grow in is being able to share your feelings in the moment. Mm-hmm. Share your feelings. Sure, we can enjoy our time, but that's the point, babe. We were disconnected and we're finally having fun, sharing, laughing, kissing, cutting up and joking. And we could also talk, which we hadn't been doing. Mm-hmm. So here's my thing. I understand that you wanted to do more of the kissing and touching aspect.
I really did.
Of it, and I get it.
That's probably another thing.
I think that was probably the problem.
I would have probably preferred that over let's stop and talk about how great this is. Like, we could just be doing how great this is.
But what I think could have been a compromise is if you saw my excitement, saw the fact that I was saying something positive about our relationship and saying, hey, babe, look at us. Look at this. I really want more of this. Mm-hmm. Like, instead of just hearing that, here she goes talking, ruining a moment. Hear what I'm saying, get the gist, and then you could have stopped me and said, babe, I hear what you're saying. I love more of these moments. And I want to talk about this more. But can I kiss you some more? Or something. And then it would have been the best of both worlds. I would have felt like you're hearing what I had to say. You would have gotten as much of the conversation as you needed to be able to understand how I was feeling. And then you could have shared in the moment, hey, I was enjoying this moment too. And I want to have more of these moments too. I want to have this moment now. So let's talk about this later and let's continue in the moment. I think that would have been a fair compromise, because I do understand that I am a speak how I feel in the moment. Mm-hmm.
So that's my last question. Is like,
yes,
do you feel in any way that there's something you could have done different in the situation?
Not if I'm not aware, because to me there's no time limit. I could have shared 30 minutes and then I could have gone to kissing. It's not like we had a deadline. Now if we had a deadline, we had some place to go. Hey, I had something I had to get out of the oven. This is not the appropriate time. But if we're chilling in the bed and we have nothing to do and no place to go, that's the appropriate time to talk to you, unless I know something like timing, unless you tell me.
So I'm just trying to make sure that we are owning the situation. So I could have told you, hey, I really appreciate you sharing. Let's keep doing what we're doing, and then let's kind of talk about it a little bit more later.
Yeah.
Would have been sufficient for you.
Absolutely.
So that's what I could have done.
Yes. Because I knew, I would have known that wasn't the appropriate time or whatever. I mean, to me, I missed talking to you and we had nothing to do. So how was I just supposed to know that this is not the space to talk to you? Like, I wanted to share with you. Mm-hmm. So now it would have been another story if you'd be like, hey, babe. I hear what you're saying. I hear you, but can we do some more kissing? And then I would have said, no, I want to keep talking. Yeah. Then I would have been wrong. I would have been wrong.
So
then you could have said, hey, babe, you need to learn when the appropriate time is.
So you are admitting that you were unaware in the moment.
I was very unaware. I didn't know what you were thinking. I didn't know. I was just feeling good that I could finally talk to you. And that we weren't busy missing each other because of
Sure.
obligations and projects and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
If we're out and about and you got to go to the bathroom and I'm stopping you, something, then of course I need to be aware that timing is an issue. But if I'm laying in bed and we have all night, then I should have all night to talk to you. If we're kissing and talking and hugging and playing and joking or whatever, and I stop you to talk, then you say, hey babe, I hear you, but like, we need to communicate instead of putting this unspoken expectation on the other person that they should just know because you do. Like, a lot of times, I know that I'm unaware. I know that when I'm zipping and running, I'm unaware of what you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. Or, sure, we're having fun and we're just joking and stuff like that, and something comes to my mind, I'm just going to share it with you because you're my best friend, especially if it's good news, especially if it's something that's making me feel good. I want to tell you that it's making me feel good. If it's not the appropriate time, you need to know I am unaware. I need for you to tell me. I never want you to be feeling a certain kind of way and not tell me. But your actions are saying, I expected her to act one way and she didn't, and so now I'm mad. I don't want that.
So, the clear-cut thing in here is communication.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
I always want you to share too how you're feeling.
I think my thing is
instead
sometimes
of waiting.
But I get it. I sometimes I'm so in shock of things that are happening that I'm like, I don't know what to say, and I'm not even sure, because my thing is processing, and I'm like, I want to say this in the most gracious and loving way possible, because I think if I don't do that, then I come off like mean.
But when have I ever said that?
You never. What do you mean?
Like, when have I ever? When you've just said how you felt, the way that you felt in the moment. When have I ever accused you of being mean?
Probably never, because I don't do it a lot.
And not just that, but I'm not easily offended. And to me, I feel like in a marriage, I mean, of course, we want to be respectful to each other, mm-hmm. but I should know you better than anybody else. If you're just speaking your mind, how you feel it. Mm-hmm. Then it's what, like, I don't get easily offended. And so one of the things that you said was that you envy the fact that I can just speak how I feel in the moment with the passion that I feel it, and it's something that you're wanting to do too. Mm-hmm. So I should continue to do that to show you and encourage you, like, hey, it's cool to be in a moment and just stop and say, you know what? I'm really liking this. This is really nice.
Or, that's cool. Stop. Don't do it no more.
You don't gotta be mean about something.
See,
no, I just playing. No, but I want you to tell me that, and I don't care. I was enjoying it. And so if you're like, all right, babe, shut up, give me a kiss, then I would have laughed and kissed you, and it wouldn't have been a problem.
No, because I feel no, babe, listen, hear me out. Listen to what I have to say. I'm like, yo, no.
Stop. So here's the thing.
Stop talking.
No, but here's I don't want you to like, ignore how I'm feeling. I need you to validate and move on. For sure. Okay. If you validate what I'm saying, if I feel heard,
facts, then you are good to move on.
Yes, and I don't know why you assume I was.
Well,
no.
Love you. Well, I appreciate the conversation. So I'm glad we got to talk it out.
Yeah.
So I think it's good stuff to remember for the next moment, because I do plan to make more moments with you like that. Oh, see how you smile like that? You see them moments coming, like, hey, that was a good moment. And just where those moments might lead. So. And
I promise that in those moments to just enjoy the physical touch moments and closeness, because I know that you value those.
Oh, yeah.
I will try not to interrupt with commentary.
Absolutely.
Shut up, Brandon.
Commentary kills all that Brandon. Real fast. Like, I love you.
I love you too.